Okay, so once again, good afternoon. So the following question can be answered after this chapter, no? So number one, what organizational characteristic must managers be aware of in order to design and implement information systems successfully? What effects do information systems have on businesses? Number two, how can Porter's concept of competing forces assist businesses in creating cutting-edge information-based competitive strategies? And how can firms find opportunities for a strategic information system application using the value chain and value web models? How can information system assist organization gain in a competitive edge by leveraging network-based strategies, core strengths, and synergies? And the last is what problems do strategic information systems attempt to solve and how should they be approached? For the information system in organizations, no? Again, organizations and information system interact with one another. Managers design information system with the goals of the business company in mind. So to take advantage of emerging technology, the organization must simultaneously be conscious of a perceptive to the influence of information system. Organizational structure, commercial procedures, politics, culture, the external environment, and managerial actions are just a few of many mediating elements that affect how information technology and organizations interact. So understanding how important or how information systems might alter social and professional life in our organizations is important. So without knowing your own business organization, you cannot properly develop new systems or comprehend those that already exist. So you will make the decision regarding which system will be developed, what they will do, and how they will be implemented as a manager. You might not be able to foresee all of the effects of these choices. There are some unforeseen changes that arise in corporate organizations as a result of new information technology expenditures. And the outcomes may or may not meet your expectation. Let's say, for example, who could have predicted that email and instant messaging would overtake other forms of business communication and that many managers would be deluged with more than 200 emails per day 15 years ago. So to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our presenter.
Thank you po, Doc. I start na po the presentation. Good day, everyone. I was assigned in the first part of Chapter 3. The topic that we will discuss is about information systems, organizations, and strategy. An information system, or IS, allows users to collect, store, organize, and distribute data functions that can serve a variety of purposes. It is used by companies or organizations. An organization or company uses strategy to change its operational objectives, service products, and environmental relationships to help organizations gain a competitive advantage. The chapter outline, I will be discussing the organizations and information systems. This is about an organization and futures of organizations, and information systems impact organizations and business firms. These are economic impacts, organizational and behavioral impacts, the internet and organizations, and implications for the design and understanding of information systems. This topic asks about which features of organizations do managers need to know about to build and use information systems successfully, and what is the impacts of information systems on organizations. Organizations and information systems. Information system and organizations influence one another. Information systems are built by managers to serve the interests of the business firm, and the organization must be aware of and open to the influences of the information systems to benefit from new technologies. In this, you will need to understand how information systems can change social and work life in your firm or organization. You will not be able to design new systems successfully or understand existing systems without understanding your own business organization. The two-way relationship between organizations and information technology. These are interactions between information technology and organizations, and this is complex. This two-way relationship is influenced by many mediating factors that are enumerated below, such as the environment, culture, structure, business processes, politics, and management decisions, not the least of which are the decisions are made or not made by the managers. What is an organization? An organization is a stable, formal social structure that takes resources from the environment and processes them to produce outputs in technical definition. This technical definition focuses on the three elements of an organization such as the production process, outputs to the environment, and inputs from the environment. In the microeconomic definition of organizations, capital and labor, which is the primary production factors provided by the environment, are transformed by the firm to the production process into products and services, which is the output of the environment. The products and services are consumed by environment, which supplies additional capital and labor as inputs. A technical view of organizations encourages us to focus on how inputs are combined to create outputs when technology changes are introduced into the company. The firm is seen as infinitely malleable, with capital and labors substituting for each other quite easily. This involves technological change within the organizations. Actually, when it comes to technological change, the length of time is required to implement a new information system simply because there is a lag between implementing a technical system and teaching employees and managers how to use the system, so that the manager will decide in terms of implementing technology or systems within their organization. The other definition of an organization in behavioral definition. A more realistic behavioral definition of an organization is a collection of rights, privileges, obligations, and responsibilities delicately balanced over a period of time through conflict and conflict resolution. The behavioral view of organizations emphasizes group relationships, values, and structures. People who work in an organization develop customary ways of working. They gain attachments to existing relationships, and they make arrangements with subordinates and superiors about how work will be done, the amount of work that will be done, and under what conditions work will be done. Most of these arrangements and feelings are not discussed in any formal rule book. The technical and behavioral definitions of organizations are not contradictory. Indeed, they complement each other. This means that they are a perfect match that leads to a success in any organizations. And the technical definition tells us how thousands of firms in competitive markets combine capital, labor, and information technology. Whereas the behavioral model takes us inside the individual firm to see how the technology affects the organization's inner workings. Features of organizations. It consists of routine and business processes, organizational politics, organizational culture, organizational environments, and organizational structure. Features of organizations also use of hierarchical structure, accountability, authority in system of impartial decision making, adherence to principle of efficiency, and other organizational features such as goals, constituencies, leadership styles, and type of task, and different environments. Let's start with the routines and business processes. Routines are sometimes called standard operating procedures. These are precise rules, procedures, and practices that have been developed to cope with virtually all expected situations. Business processes are collections of such routines, a business firm in turn a collection of business processes. All organizations, including business firms, become very efficient over time because individuals in the firm develop routines for producing goods and services. All organizations are composed of individual routines and behaviors, a collection of which make up a business process. A collection of business processes make up the business firm. New information system applications require that individual routines and business processes change to achieve high level of organizational performance. Next is organizational politics. People in organizations occupy different positions with different specialties, concerns, and perspectives. As a result, they naturally have divergent viewpoints about how resources, rewards and punishments should be distributed. These differences matter to both managers and employees, and they result in political struggle for resources, competition, and conflict within every organization. Political resistance is one of the great difficulties of bringing about organizational change, especially in the development of new information systems. Virtually, all large information systems investments by the firm that bring about significant changes in strategy, business objectives, business processes, and procedures become political charge events. Managers who know how to work with the politics of an organization will be more successful than less skilled managers in implementing new information systems. Next is organizational culture. Organizational culture encompasses the set of assumptions about what products the organization should produce, how it should produce them, where, and for whom. This is a powerful unifying force that restrains political conflict and promotes common understanding, agreement on procedures, and common practices. This is also a powerful restraint on change, especially technological change. Most organizations will do almost anything to avoid making changes in basic assumptions. Any technological change that threatens commonly held cultural assumptions usually meets a great deal of resistance. Next is organizational environments. Organizations reside in environments from which they draw resources and to which they supply goods and services. Organizations and environments have a reciprocal relationship. Environments shape what organizations can do, but organizations can influence their environments and decide to change environments altogether. Information technology plays a critical role in helping organizations perceive environmental change and in helping organizations act on their environment. So let's have the organizational structure. All organizations have a structure or shape as described and classified by Mills-Bergs. The kind of information systems defined in a business firm and the nature of problems with these systems often reflects the type of organizational structure. So here are the organizational types. Let's have the first one, the entrepreneurial structure. This is a young, small firm in a fast-changing environment. It has a simple structure and is managed by an entrepreneur serving as its single chief executive officer. Next is machine bureaucracy. Large bureaucracy existing in a slowly changing environment, producing standard products. It is dominated by a centralized management team and centralized decision making. This provides a reliable basis for people to share the same expectations about a product or service. Then the divisionalized bureaucracy. It is a combination of a multiple machine bureaucracies, each producing a different product or service, all topped by one central headquarters. Then the professional bureaucracy. It is a knowledge-based organization where goods and services depends on the expertise and knowledge of professionals. It is dominated by department heads with weak centralized authority. And, have, and the adhocracy consists of large groups of specialists organized into short-lived multidisciplinary teams and has a weak central management. How information systems impact organizations and business firms. Information systems have become integral online interactive tools deeply involved in the minute-to-minute operations and decision-making of large organizations. The information systems impact organizations and business firms are the economic impacts, organizational and behavioral impacts, the internet and organizations, and implications for the design and understanding of information systems. First is the economic impacts. From the point of view of economics, IT changes both the relative cost of capital and the cost of information. Information systems technology can be viewed as a factor of production that can be substituted for traditional capital and labor. As the cost of information technology decreases, it is substituted for labor, which historically has been a rising cost. It also substitutes for the other form of capital such as buildings and machinery. which remain relatively expensive. IT also affects the cost and quality of information and changes the economics of information. Information technology helps firms contract in size because it can reduce transaction costs, the cost incurred when a firm buys on the marketplace what it cannot make itself. Next is organizational and behavioral impacts. Theories based in the sociology of complex organizations also provide some understanding about how and why firms change with the implementation of new IT applications. Information systems can reduce the number of levels in an organization by providing managers with information to supervise large numbers of workers and by giving lower level employees more decision-making authority. The changes mean that the management span of control has also been broadened, enabling high-level managers to manage and control more workers spread over greater distances. Many companies have eliminated thousands of middle managers as a result of these changes. The flattening organizations. Information systems inevitably become bound up in organizational politics because they influence access to a key resource, namely information. Information systems can affect who does what to whom, when, where, and how in an organization. Many new information systems require changes in personnel, individual routines that can be painful for those involved and require retraining and additional effort that may or may not be compensated. Because information systems potentially change an organization's structure, culture, business processes, and strategy, there is often considerable resistance to them when they are introduced. There are several ways to visualize organizational resistance. Those are organizational structure, people, job tasks, and information technology. Let's have the internet and organizations. The internet, especially the World Wide Web, has an important impact on the relationships between many firms and external entities, and even on the organization of business processes inside a firm. The Internet increases the accessibility, storage, and distribution of information and knowledge for organizations. Businesses are rapidly rebuilding some of their key business processes based on the Internet technology and making this technology a key component of their IT infrastructures. If prior networking is any guide, one result will be simpler business processes, fewer employees, and much flatter organizations than in the past. The implications for the design and understanding of the information systems. To deliver genuine benefits, information systems must be built with a clear understanding of the organization in which they will be used. The central organizational factors to consider when planning a new system are the following: the environment in which the organization must function, the structure of the organization such as hierarchy, specialization, routines, and business processes, the organization's culture and politics, the type of organization and its style of leadership, the principal interest groups affected by the system and the attitudes of workers who will be using the system, and the kinds of tasks, decisions, and business processes that the information system is designed to assist. That's all my report. Thank you. That's the end.